Hello there! Hello! Hey there, Francesco! Hello! Welcome! Oh, that's slightly on the screen. Hello! Welcome to the stream. And also, you're here. The bot worked. The auto stream notification bot thing over yonder. Yeah! Woo. Success! Huzzah! Yeah. So victory. Okay. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me just bleh. Were you playing the whole time? Whoops. You weren't supposed to be. Let me start you over like that. Whoops. Yeah, it still times out every day, though, so I gotta fix that, but yeah. Fun. So, words. Attempting to words, and words not wording. So, hello. With that bot thing, one thing I'm working on setting up off screen, my old computer, I should get like a desk and all that, getting a new monitor and stuff. I want to set up my old computer to be a thing that's running 24/7, primarily for the purpose of, as I've said many times, having the animation that's below the stream, having it be a live feed of a Unity scene happening on that computer. If I do that, and then it's running basically 24/7, or at least running during the times that I'm streaming, maybe just so it's less of a problem for like you had to maintain upkeep of stuff, we could port stuff over so it's running on my thing. Maybe if you want to do that. If not, that's also fine. Just I don't know. There's a less yeah. I appreciate the your help with helping me get certain things up and running and whatnot. And yeah. Oh, my data lagged. What did you do? Oh no. Oh, fully nothing? What do you mean lagged? Like, in what sense? Is the stream down? Hopefully the stream's not down. According to OBS, haven't dropped any frames yet. Let's double check. I haven't streamed since, what, Thursday or something? No, Wednesday. Ah, that's further away than I thought. Oh, myself data, I asked, what did you... here. Oh, I was just saying that, so I don't know, it doesn't matter that I'm pointing off screen to something. I'm pointing to something that's not even on screen anyway, and I'm not going to turn my monitor to make stuff be on screen. My old computer, the one I used to be streaming on, I want to set it up so it's running 24/7. I'm getting, like, another monitor and stuff like that. Primarily for the stuff going on below the stream. As I've said before, getting that to instead be a looping video, it being a Unity scene that's constantly running stuff. Yeah, that's in, well, it doesn't have to be 24/7, mainly just while I'm streaming. And have it be taking a live feed from that so that I can do more and maybe eventually do stuff with, like, taking in, like, chat input to change stuff and stuff like that. And since I might be doing that anyway, an additional thing that can be doing, if, how am I aware of this? I could take the burden of running the bot of my stream notification stuff off your hands and potentially be running it on my thing. So that it's my responsibility to keep up, my burden to deal with the upkeep, making sure it doesn't go down and all that. And I appreciate your help with help me get all that running and all that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like how am I trying to word what I'm trying to say? Lost my train of thought now. No. But basically, yeah, if you want, I could be running it on my end. So, yeah. Not, yeah, so you don't have to do as much with it. Or if it goes down, then I can quickly well, I don't know. I have a PC that runs 20 frames for my piracy server and the Chrome. Oh, yeah, you also have that running. But that I haven't, done anything with in ages. Right, I forgot that we set that up together. Yeah. They're useful, you might as well give it a shot. No, it's alright. It requires my Twitch bot channel API secret stuff, so I don't mind running it. Fair enough. Okay, thought I'd make this and like if you're cool to keep doing that, then that's a-okay by me. Yeah. Oh no, choked on my own spit. Hold on. Anyway, yeah. every time I start a stream, I'm always like flustered for words. It takes me time to like get into the groove of talking, apparently, especially when I've had a couple days of not be streaming. Let me get circling into what we're actually doing here today. My video, the video that I've been working on that's been like very much overdue of when it should have been done ages ago. But then also there's stuff with like the whole Unity stuff that's also been happening that been a whole thing. Which has had kind of a lukewarm ending. I'm gonna say a good ending, not really a bad ending, kind of a middle of the road of like, it's not as terrible as it could be, but there's still some problems. But for now, I'll take the kind of win of Unity like backtracking on their decisions and like, not fully backtracking, I guess, but backtracking enough that I'm like, okay, I guess I can live with this for now. Yeah, so one thing that's funny is that they're finally, of all the things to do, the one thing that I think is funny is that they're finally getting rid of the requirement to, over here, actually I don't know when it's going to be implemented, I assume, like, not for a while. Player. Over here, splash image. Yeah, this will be faded no longer. Yeah, I saw that finally. Yeah, it's like, I mean, okay, this isn't like the biggest deal in the world, especially if we're making a small little free game. Yeah, it's funny that like when people make games in like Unreal and whatnot, they'll often, or especially like big budget games, not have the default. I assume that Unreal maybe has a default made with Unreal thing. I actually don't know what that looks like. But I see often like big budget games will like make their own. Yeah, they make their own splash screen. Yeah, so it just looks a lot cooler. It'd be cool if even in the free version of Unity. Well, I guess now it won't be a problem that because like this could be off. But before they did this, if there was like even just like a few variations to go between. I mean, there kind of is with like, oh, you can have it be light on dark or dark on light, and you can slightly adjust the background color, and you can put an image back there. So, well, I guess, okay, I guess actually it's modifying it like a decent bit, but like the Unreal ones tend to be way cooler. Yeah. I did have in mind that with the Handyman with a unicycle, when I eventually have that, well, okay, given Unity's reputation, I know a lot of people are like not wanting to really advertise that the game was made in Unity, but if my idea before all this Unity stuff went down, and if by the time 100 years from now that I release that game, Unity kind of builds up their reputation a little bit again, I had an idea to sort of work in a custom Unity splash screen into the opening cutscene of the game, where basically the opening shot of like the opening cutscene of the game, because I have like, it's going to have a little bit of a cutscene before it goes into the main menu. The opening shot was going to be a bulletin board kind of thing. It was going to have a bunch of different like papers and advertisements on it. The main central one of the shot being like a help wanted thing for the carnival that then the main character finds. And I was thinking that like off to the side on different ones, you'd have one that would say made with Unity and another one that would say like made by Cyberchroma or something like that. So yeah, maybe like pan between them or something like that. So that was an idea that I had for that being a thing, but we'll see how that actually pans out, or whether I even want to say the Unity part. But you know, we'll see when we get there. That's still a long ways away. You can put an image. Yeah, no, I know that because I've done that before. You can also like, yeah, have other logos and yeah, have like, if I put in another image, then actually will it show that? There'd be like another thing here, and then yeah. So okay, there are options, I guess. Like there isn't that there's no options for changing stuff. It's just, I don't know. And then I guess when people make stuff with like Unreal, yeah, if you custom make a full thing, that's not just like changing some settings here, I guess. So fair enough. Whatever. And then yeah, ooh, it can zoom, like whatever. Yeah. Then wherever, yeah, background here, yeah, that stuff. I've done stuff with this before. I've just not in a while. The default was on this. So in theory, yeah. Yeah, although, so the one thing is they're only getting rid of it in version 2023, which is also the version that's going to be the one that starts having the newer fees that are not going back in time now, which that's good. So it's like you're having to make the trade-off of, for the free version, not having the splash screen, but also being the one that gets the fees. Only if you cross a massively high threshold, but whatever, I guess. Yeah, because they raised the threshold of the free version of Unity, Unity Personal, and then Unity Enterprise and all that. We're being 200,000 now rather than 100,000. So, got a long way to go before that's even a problem for me. But anyways, yeah. So, and that also really affects like me when I actually finish a game some point. And on the road to doing that, the first step in that in my sort of roadmap of things that I'm working on is this. The video, this next tutorial thing that I made progress on between the last stream and now. Also, I didn't stream yesterday. People at Discord, like I said, the thing that I still have sunburns on my shoulders and kind of on my face, so like that wasn't fun. Yeah, so instead of, well, I guess I could have streamed, but I chose not to, and instead just did, yeah, over here, blah. Did more work on the video and actually recorded all of the different pieces, kind of. There's still, like, more tinkering and messing around that can be done. I'm seeing that this isn't over enough. See, like, they're a tiny little thing. Let me just go, blah, before I forget to, let me just do this slight bit of, I imagine a lot of today we're going to be, yeah, doing this kind of just lots of little adjustments, different things, little additions, little making things better. But we have, like, the rough draft of, like, all the pieces in place. And so we have, like, yeah, kind of like a first draft of the video. It's missing a lot of, like, background music and just more things I want to try to do to make it more visually interesting. But, yeah, I guess I can start to, yeah. Let me turn you, not completely off, but down. I don't know if I'll play through this whole thing right now, but play through at least some of it. There are a lot of things that move in video games. Will be a lot better when it has background music. I have noticed that. Hey there, I'm Cyberchroma. I made a game in 9 days, not for any sort of I have noticed that comparing like my previous video, it not having background music versus it having background music, I think does make a huge difference. So when that's in here, it'll hopefully sound better. But yeah. Don't know how much I want to talk over myself. Whatever, I'll talk over myself. There's just more, but yeah, you'll see stuff. Yeah, so we have a list of stuff in the video manager that has the direction, rotations, intro animation. I made all the monitors default for now be like on an angle. In theory, each one, like for each individual clip, even from the same direction, will be on slightly different angles or whatever. But that's more additional detail we'll get to. And then there might be some, like, I don't know if I want to make the intro animation and the outro animation be perfectly against the screen. Maybe even have them specially with the monitors, like, have them actually take up the whole screen. I don't know. Still lots of stuff to play around with. There are 18 total clips to be messing with. So, yeah, we will get through all of that. I also added, onto our, the, like, information for each clip, actually adding, like, a volume thing, which by default is 1 on everything, but, like, the intro animation, I wanted to, like, make the music that a little bit quieter, so a little bit more flexibility of stuff I can move up and down in the actual Unity scene. So, here we start to be into, like, between the last stream and now, this starts to be more of the new stuff I recorded, I guess. Before, I basically had all the face clips, and I think, like, the first clip with, like, gameplay footage. But, yeah, so it's a combination of Unity footage, you're going to see code footage, it's both, like, stuff in a Unity scene of the game and stuff of just, I just made one long video of me just playing through the whole game, because only, like, it's not that long, and then just cut up some bits for some different sections. Yeah. So code. Yeah. I do think that the code in itself, like these shots of code, something about this works with it, I don't know. The code on the monitor at the slight angle, getting a little bit of, like, the slightly different coloring because of the slight vignette around the screen, a little bit of the post-processing. I don't know. I like how this looks. Although, recording the code really sucked. It's something I'm not great at, and I don't know, it always is a struggle to be like, okay, especially when, like, there's a shot later on. I think it's clip, like, I don't know, let's see, it's, like, something like, is it 13, maybe? Yeah, this one. I'm going to play it from here, where in the clip it's like, there's nothing, and then I have to type the thing here, type stuff here, like, and then, copy and, like, I paste it up here and then make a small change. Yeah, this hard to do without messing up. So many takes where I accidentally, like, I mean, in the recording, I could, mess up a thing, backspace, and then type the right thing. But I wanted to have a recording where it, like, is perfect, typing the full things. That's why there's a lot of, like, changing the speeds and stuff. What it ended up working as I sort of cheated it, I would just type super slow, but consistently pressing all of the correct things. I gotta go for a bit. I got really busted. Oh, that sucks to hear. I just go. You also, yeah, I said the Discord thing. You also, like, last month got like a sunburn like me, and yeah, that sucks. Not fun. Well, yeah, I'll see you around all that. Hope you feel better soon and whatnot. I'm gonna be working on my video stuff. But yeah, thanks for dropping by. And again, thanks for help with the, getting the, notification thing back up and running. That is, yeah, awesome. Saves an extra step that I have to worry about. So automating more things. With the Discord bot, I forgot about that. At some point it'd be cool to do more with that, but that is definitely lower on my priority list for now. But yeah, thank you. I'll continue with rambling and making stuff, because we were still working on this video. It is, as I said, in like a first draft kind of state. More changes that I want to make, some of them being more experimental, where I'm like, I don't know if this will make the video better or worse, but let's just try stuff and then see how it goes. But then I also don't want to get too crazy with this video specifically, because I'm going to be making, ideally, more videos in this style. The next one should be shorter, in theory, so it'll be easier, I think, to do more, like, messing around. And the idea that each video in this style that I make, I kind of evolve it, and each one slightly becomes better as I do more, and like the backgrounds are different, and, like, making like the 3D model of the monitor maybe better, and like just trying more things to just make it better. One thing that I don't know how much later I'll save it to, but with the actual code, I had a different thing from another project. Where do I have you? This one. Let me open this up. As I said, the recording of the typing the code in this sucked, and I have a cool idea that to both get around it, and if it works, will just improve the visual quality, just more cool visual stuff happening with the video itself as this opens up. Let me just continue playing this for now. Yeah, you know what, I will just, because this is new for you guys, kind of, I'll play through this whole thing, even though I'm talking over it, but oh well. we will throughout today probably be playing through this multiple times, so how long till we get sick of it? I did also, when I was recording, so when I went from having recorded the script to then recording clips, there were some clips where I'm like, oh no, my original idea for what the visual of this clip was going to be doesn't completely work with what I'm saying, or in the order that I'm saying, so I had to, like, and I didn't want to re-record. Oh, here's a special thing where I'm showing an image from Unity things, and it actually did panning. Whoa. In a second here, I point out that late update exists. I don't know if I want to, like, highlight it or zoom in on it or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, having these monitors come in and do different things. The idea of, in other things, potentially having monitors of different sizes would be cool. Like, in this case, I'm showing a really long image. It's, like, really tall. So if I actually had a monitor that was, like, thin, and, like, did that, stuff like that would be cool. Having more of these sort of special cases. The idea, if I wanted to show, here's a thing happening in Unity, and here's a thing happening in code. Look at when I change the code, it changes the Unity thing. Or, like, an inspector changing a public variable, and then in the game of, like, well, look at the speed of this thing that's moving. Having two mini monitors come in that are showing different things. It's like, stuff like that would be cool to play with, but not for this video. For, like, first take at this, I didn't want to go too overboard with it. Because ideally, I want to make, it's like I'm making 10 videos in this style and then abandoning the idea forever. That's an exaggeration, but that's, because then it's more just like, I want to do some videos that are this in this style, and then I have another, like, I want to make some non-tutorial videos for a bit. That's going to be a whole other thing that I've rambled about many times. What is this the... No, that is the desk. I was like, I see black here. No, it's a desk. Never mind. Not, much hair. And yeah, having the monitors coming in for different direction. That was one coming from below. I could still be changing what clips are coming in from what directions. Like, that's totally still, yeah, cool. And, like, I'm telling you, I can easily change. Yeah.
And with that, I challenge you to try to find
Almost at the end here.
more out of your animation. It doesn't have to just be to cut down on
There's some parts where I slightly stumble over my words, but I don't really want to re-record anything for this, because re-recording any individual thing is annoying to then keep the consistency with everything else, especially any of these, like, in-person shots. Yeah. Then here I have a little bit of a, not really a montage, it's like 3 different clips of different parts of the game. It's like, the big enemies, and like, stuff. Yeah. And then this level, that's the one where you're getting chased by a bunch of enemies, and then, yeah. Cool. Outro music starts to fade in. Wow.
Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around.
I'm looking forward to when I move from making these tutorials in this exact style to at least making animated short, or potentially having some degree of voice acting in it. I'm looking forward to attempting, like, doing mild voice acting that isn't just being a narrator, because in, like, all of this stuff I put on this, like, tutorial announcery narrating kind of voice that I fall into that isn't amazing or whatever, but it does the job. Be cool to attempt to not have to be talking like, not even have to, just not, I don't know, doing a different role for video. We'll see how that goes, whether it's more or less cringy. Anyways, so yeah, that was the video as it currently stands. Yeah, there's a few more code changes. I made it so that the this debug tool I have to start a specific video, it starts at 1, just so if I'm like, oh, I want to start at clip 18, I can just put in 18 rather than having to mentally subtract 1 or whatever. Mild thing. I put in that, like, it gets the we get the actual audio sources attached to the video players, so that each clip can have its own audio or volume attached to it. In theory, for the most part, the audio stuff I mess with in Premiere, but specifically for, like, the intro and outro, I was just like, oh, I don't want to re-render those in Blender just to, like, whatever. So I just, yeah, lowered them to sheet. Yeah, I've just realized, though, did I... No, yeah, the outro clip doesn't have volume with it because the outro music is its own entity, because it, because it like, fades in before the clip actually starts and whatnot. Yeah, so there's still stuff I can do slightly, like, there's a lot of, like, fine-tuning that I can do, and I don't know how much I will do, because there's a degree to which I want to get this video out the door, because I want to move on to the next thing. But I don't want the video to be too bad. Yeah, this can, be my first bit of kind of getting other eyes on it a little bit. Now, there's more that I can do, so, like, in terms of the actual video itself, like, the background, like, the presentation of it. I mean, there's, like, looking at the video, if it was just these clips edited together and, like, that's it, like, simple enough, like, whatever. The extra bit of having the whole reason that's in a Unity scene, this whole background stuff, I am torn on, like, how much more I want to do with it, and then how much more I want to do with it for this video specifically versus waiting for the next one. Like, and then today in this stream, I think we're going to experiment with some of that, where it's like 3 things to potentially 4-ish. But what we're definitely not getting today. One is, like, so, like, the monitor itself, but maybe making a better model for it. But, like, I still don't know what I want to do for that yet. So, like, that's going to be further down the line. Need to do more planning for that off stream, I think. If I even paint them, or just, like, be like, this is good enough and go with it, or slightly tweak the colors or whatever. But thing one is the monitor itself, while it's, like, in the middle of playing this long, like, video clip, do I want the monitor itself to actually move something like, or either the rotation of just, like, slightly, you know, moving up and down on whatever axis. It's, like, it's very, like, it could be very slow, just kind of this sort of hovering up and down. Can either be from the rotation or the position or some combination of both. I don't know. Going back and forth, that might be a bit much. There is, I mean, as part of that, the actual, like, the things that control the monitors coming in, they do all come in at the same position. Like, the positions don't move, they just pivot. I put this back to, it was like 5, 0, and then like, is this 4.5 or something? I could put in a thing where even the different monitors has slightly different positions if I want, like, hey, play this clip slightly further back and like more up or something. It's like that. Some of that is just for the sake of having more variety in what's going on, but more than just having some of these positions being different. Like once it's like in and static or whatever, having some slightly different movement going on when the clip is in the middle of playing, of it rotating up and down. Like maybe that would look good, maybe it won't, but I guess I won't know until I try it. I think different clips could sort of shake different amounts potentially. If one clip, you need to more be able to read what's going on, have it, do that less. So that's like with the monitors themselves. The actual background, there's more I can potentially do with that. I don't know yet what's going to be kind of the threshold of like, hey, more movement is just more interesting, like more cool stuff going on. And when that crosses into, it's like too noisy and distracting from what the video is. But the actual like clips themselves aren't that crazy. They don't demand your attention that much. The most where they would is when I'm like, maybe when I'm showing code, but I'm more talking about like overall conceptual stuff. It's like, here's a very specific example for my case, but yeah, so I don't know. That's like kind of, again, see it in practice. Like we'll make some things and then see how it goes and whatever. So with the actual background itself, there's the idea of, one, just having a way more interesting background than just a grid. Having more interesting stuff going on in the background, but is that too much? Is it not too much? Like, we're going to find out. And then there's like the difference between if the background has slight moving stuff going on and then the camera itself actually moving around in this environment, whether it's just like slowly spinning or actually like flying through an environment. Like that's its own whole thing that can happen. Right now I'm treating these monitors like they're anchored to the camera, but I could, maybe not for this video, but for a later one, have it be like that'd actually be kind of cool if the monitors didn't really move, or maybe they moved a little bit, but like a camera is flying through this environment and then flies to the side. Here's a monitor over here, and then it leaves and flies more. Here's a monitor over here. Problem with that was that it would be that the transitions between monitors should be fast. I don't want to drag out the video too much by like this like travel time. Although maybe it could go back and forth between like, oh, here's a monitor that's sort of anchored to the camera like one of these, and it goes away, and it's like, hey, let's look at this like billboard looking thing that's physically attached, that's like not moving. There's a clip over there, and then like back to one that's like sticking to the camera, and then hey, look at that thing over there. That's stuff we could play around with. And like some of these ideas, I don't know how much we like just do for one of these tutorials, just be interesting thing going on in that one, but it doesn't have to be a consistent idea in all of them necessarily. Because then again, there's the part of like there's a difference between just having idea of like, hey, that'd be cool, than the development time of actually making all of that stuff. I want to get back to working on the Hand Moving with a Unicycle someday. Would be kind of cool if I eventually like. So I'd say I finished this video and the environment's kind of simple-ish, and then I make more stuff with the Hand Moving with a Unicycle. Maybe get to the point of like, hey, we have kind of a test level, and then I take some environmental assets from that and then use that to make some environmental stuff for the background of this. Like that could be a bit of killing two birds with one stone kind of stuff. Although with this, I kind of like the idea that the background of this looks like, oh, it's grids, it's like blueprints, it's like in the middle of constructing stuff. But I don't know, maybe having an actual environment would be better. But maybe it also depends on the video, right? Like there's one, like this one I'm like talking about overriding animation stuff, and it's like the first of this kind of idea, so maybe purposely being like, oh, it's grids and stuff, works. A later one I want to do is talking about underwater currents, and that video could be all like underwater themed, so maybe that's where I have, in the background it is all underwater-y or whatever. I don't know. But then there's also like, so if the actual video clips playing are all underwater stuff, then maybe the background should be contrast. That doesn't mean like desert, but it could still be underwater, but just just different colors. Who knows? It's all hypotheticals, and I don't know like how far I want to go into any particular ideas. But it's like we'll see. But again, I want to try to not go too crazy over the top with just this one. Let this one not that I don't want to try for this one, but let this one be like the guinea pig, just like, here's the proof of concept. The next one, yeah, do more with it. Because with making this video, I built all these systems with this like video manager and like all that I don't gotta make the second time around unless we're making improvements to it, or even just more stuff to like, yeah, automate different bits. Because like once we've made this, once we have a new set of clips with like the next video, we just put them in, put in the different directions, all that, and it's like, ta-da, good to go, kind of. So in theory, making another video in this exact same style wouldn't take half as long, in theory. But then at that point, then I kind of used like additional time to then, yeah, do more with it. You know, then, yeah, try to sort of take it to that kind of next step. I do think that the next video will be shorter because this video kind of has to play two purposes. It was both talking about, hey, I made this game in 9 days, and also, here's a tutorial based on something that I made in that game, this whole animation overriding thing, which did make it tricky to plan in some aspects and tricky to figure out how I was going to shoot certain shots and, like, some stuff with showing the code and having it not be super confusing. We'll see, kind of. Like, I'm not completely sure how well that's going to go. But the next one won't be that kind of double thing. It'll be like, here's stuff I made specifically for a tutorial, and then here's the tutorial, and that's it. I think the next one on the list, let me double check, I believe is the laser one. Where I just want it to be like, where are you? This one. Yeah, the redirecting lasers. So a couple, many streams ago, we did a thing where we just, here's lasers, and like they like lie, like they don't, like, it's not like baked in, it's real time. You turn the thing that's shooting the laser and it'll bounce off of stuff all dynamically, and like that was cool. That didn't require that much coding, if I remember correctly, which is good because it means the tutorial can be short if it was simple enough. Although there will be some amount in there of like the actual, some stuff talking about like the actual Unity side of things of making the like material and stuff with that probably, like the actual, more of the visual stuff with the laser. So and we'll see. I always with these tutorials how much I want to start from scratch versus how much I want to like start with a foundation to then show a thing. Always a bit of a like I don't know necessarily which, like how much to show versus how much to just already be there. But I don't want the video to be too boring if I'm explaining too much or whatever. Or if it's meant to be an intermediate kind of tutorial, then I shouldn't necessarily need to explain like, oh, here's what a variable is, right? If it's like a more beginner tutorial, then yeah. So I have kind of with my list sort of section things off as being more beginner, intermediate, or expert tutorials that have like a, like this is a concept I'm teaching that the fact that you're looking into this concept, you hopefully have this kind of base understanding of like X, Y, Z, like whatever. Anyways, this one is more, okay, yeah, kind of more, I consider it a little bit intermediate. Like you've used Unity enough to know what update is, so I don't need to explain what update is. I can jump right into, hey, you use update? Here's late update, a little bit. Then also rushing things a little bit in this one because of, yeah, I don't want it to be too long, and also I'm explaining the game. Yeah, I don't know, so I mean, it would be kind of cool if in the next one then, if it's all lasers, that this background be able to do more with like, hey, it's lasers everywhere. Kind of cool, kind of interesting idea perhaps. Like hopefully it'll, yeah, turn out well. Yeah, so let me lower the desk here. I'm gonna bring the chair back over. Yeah. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, so I was looking like I'm gonna keep rambling. I can start to actually make stuff. Although something I've been a Unity project before to explain a thing that I wanted to do and then didn't show the thing. So this is at one point this was the scene where this is a Unity project where I was making one of these animated shorts and stuff. Maybe coming back to it at some point, but some of my plans have changed for the specifics of what these animated shorts, or the first one that I want to make, is going to look like. In this scene, however, I wanted to show off, where is it? This. Potentially, maybe this will be the next thing that I'm not going to be, I don't need to do it for this current tutorial. Maybe this is the thing I focus hard into for the next tutorial. It'll probably be perfect for it, actually, because the code isn't going to be super complex. This isn't a clip of Visual Studio stuff. I forget if this is functional. We're about to find out together. I think it is. I know that it has certain flaws and bugs and blah, blah, blah. But it's cool. In a second... Oh, nope, this. Ignore other things around here that I explain all of right now. But yeah, this is all pulling stuff from text files and then like auto coloring stuff based on a dictionary, a bunch of words and whatnot. But yeah, being this dynamic, like, ooh, it's typing code and deleting stuff and like doing stuff at fixed like time intervals. Yeah, using this to make clips of oh, and also I can, oh, not like this. Like this over here. I can scrub through it as well, which is just stuff that's cool. Although it might require bringing in some of this underlying this time window thing that might be messy to bring over from this project to the other one, but we'll see. I'll figure that out later. Doing this, but it looks cleaner. There's less. Like if I have a shot here of, I don't know the soonest that it will get to shot of actual code. Let me just over here. I just need to see the first one with code is 7, so I just go out of play mode. 7. Back into it. I need to play a second of it. Waha, code. There's a lot more. I guess this doesn't have like the line numbers, but like, well, I don't know how important that really is. But there's some like the extra fluff around the sides that doesn't necessarily need to be there. Whatever. This looks cleaner and is cooler because it was made with code. And like this isn't required to have all the extra stuff above and below. There's more of a proof of concept thing. I could have, if I'm only showing, hey, here's something I'm typing in update or in a move function, I don't need to show the surrounding stuff. I can just show, you know, the move function and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah, there's basically, by taking this code and implementing it in the next tutorial, I don't, like, this can save me having to actually take these screen recordings of me actually typing code, which these are a big pain to do, so not doing them would be great. That's, like, what I'm trying to, like, almost, a little bit trying to do is, like, okay, what were some of the tricky bits with making this video and, like, just some of my tutorials in general that have done stuff like this where I needed to get recordings of code. And it's like, how can I automate that stuff with code and make it cooler? It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, making it cooler and not having to do it in this way necessarily. Yeah, so that might be a thing that we do. Not in this next video though. Already recorded the stuff, not necessary. Again, don't want to go too overboard with it because also just this isn't fully functional and kind of needs more. There's some edge cases where it breaks horrifically and stuff like that. And if I wanted to, for example, have the line numbers, although I wouldn't, like, I could just have, like, I can cheat it in by just having it be like its own thing off the side. If I wanted line numbers, that's not super necessary anyway. Yeah, I also have stuff here with like, oh yeah, this was, oh, whole different thing I was going to show. This is, so the left one was having like a full-on like giant code wall. This was the idea of having like, oh, here's just a little thing that comes down and like, yeah, little monitor thingy showing code. And it could actually scroll. That was a whole other thing, was that it could scroll. Although some of the back end of setting some of this up is complicated and, you know, would need more to kind of be smoothed out and stuff, but is conceptually cool. This is also like the prototype of what one of these monitors was going to look like, which is a thing. What I would eventually like to do with the code is instead of it being like it's on a physical, like, weird sci-fi monitor, is if instead just you saw just the code and it looked more hologram-like and you could kind of see through it a bit. I'd like to see if I could get that to be the sort of art style of specifically the code, not all of the video stuff, but just code popping up would be cool if it's more hologram-y. And then here, well, these are just straight up screenshots of like, oh hey, it's like a hierarchy or project window or inspector just straight in a Unity scene. If I eventually went the full mile and tried to like, just like this where I have code that recreates this stuff, although this is just text, this gets way more complicated if I try to have code that like recreates inspector window that shows a rigid body and like whatever. That would be cool, but also very unnecessary for now. Anyway, the point of looking at this was just to see that code stuff that I'd implement. Not important for this. So what I wanted to do specifically for, like, the next thing I wanted to mess with this stream was just the idea of having the monitors themselves slightly hover up and down. I just want to see what that looks like. And in theory, I kind of define different rates, but for now, I'll just have, like, a global, like, amount that it's on all of them. And then I can mess with both, like, slight rotating and slight moving up and down and seeing if one looks better than the other. There's also the idea of having a combination of both. There's actually another thing that I'm going to show off from this project again. Not here. Over here? No, this one. Yeah. These monitor things here. Please work. Yeah. Why are you upside down? Oh no, no, you're fine. So ignore this like Pac-Man dots thing here. That's just some. Actually, well, it's somewhat useful. It's visualizing that this monitor here, that's kind of like roughly like floating around, is moving like entirely through code. It has just this kind of randomness going on with it, like tilting around and moving up and down. These dots are just like visualizing the path that it's taking. It's just for the movement, not for the rotation of stuff. I don't know why this isn't moving. Probably just from some stuff I set up before, but yeah, that's a thing. And over here, I believe this has more of that, but I think actually better implemented, maybe? In a second. Yeah, there's some things here that are more rough. This is also what one of these monitor things is going to look like, which, I don't know, arguably this maybe looks better or worse than the other thing, but, but yeah, this has all the hovering up and down. Shaking back and forth and stuff, so I don't know. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could. Well, no, this might be too aggressive here, and I could take some of the code that's doing this and just maybe copy it over. But I don't know if this is the kind of... So this is meant to be like, oh, it's like a hovering, flying around monitor thing, where these monitors are meant to be more like anchored to the screen through some kind of robo like arm thing. Like this is more like it's locked in, more like machinery or whatever. So I don't wanna. Copying some of this code also means copying some of this like time window thing. That's a whole mess of stuff. So I don't know if I want to necessarily do that. But I can have a quick peek at some of this. Yeah, of these. Extra movement, extra rotation. They're two separate things because they can be controlled differently. Yeah. Math. This is like a specialized update thing in this project. If I just take this and just turn you to normal update, then you might be fine, but then you're based off of this. Just deciding if... Because I just am unsure of if this... Like, if that style movement will fit here. Maybe first I'll try just getting the rotation to go up and down in a bit of a sine wave. Right, so before I go any further, and I've just realized, is that, so when these monitors flick in, like this one, the left, this is the left monitors, I know my lefts from rights. Okay, so this monitor, is rotating based on this left monitor pivot. This is because this is controlling the rotations as it's like coming in, and eventually maybe if I controlled it having a different position that it settles on. So I was thinking that I would like, oh, after the monitor kind of stops, then I deal with rotating these. It's probably not the smartest move. I probably should have another object that's the thing that actually gets rotated, which I mean could just be this. Well, actually no, this is gonna rotate, not the video, yeah. So dumping all of these under another pivot. should you be above or below? You be fixed to then the other thing be extra movement on top of that. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Another thing I'll have to kind of set up. Oh, not like that. I guess like left monitor, like extra movement pivot. I don't know. You don't need to be. Just I don't need the left monitor part here. Just extra movement pivot. Blah. You be all zeros, and then you go under here. Do I care where you are pivoted to? Let me double check. This is gonna conceptually be doing what I want it to be doing. Not at all. How'd that happen? You were all zeros, so why did... Like, that shouldn't have made any difference, in theory. Unless... Oh, it's probably because... Don't I cheat and just to get the pivot, I just go, like... where are you? I think I'd cheat and start and just go, like, something dot get parent or something. Yeah, I totally do. So if I do what I'm just about to do, it should be .parent, which is a little ugly, but this was to save on manually having to drag and drop stuff, but that's a bit backfiring now. Let me just Google, or not, Control F for just any other mentions of someone getting his parent. I guess it's only in one place, it's not the worst thing ever. Yeah, the code for this doesn't need to be the cleanest, as long as it functions. Because this isn't part of a real game, it's just, you know, whatever the bare minimum I need to make this animation. What happened? The camera moved? What? Or the camera's rotation got meshed up. Why you 120? Excuse me? Is there... Oh. So what? I don't need this project open right now. This is just a copy of the 9-day game thing where I was then messing with code to get the recordings that I needed to, so I don't need that. And I don't think I need this at the moment, so I'll close you, which means I also don't need you. Okay. So why did that not work? I'm gonna guess that I have some other code on something. The only code that should be running is these guys. Have I drag and drop the wrong thing? The video players are still you. Oh, I know why, because I didn't... So I assumed, like, oh, I don't need to set up this on the other game objects. I totally do, because... otherwise, then these getting their parent... Their parents are just getting the camera. Makes sense, makes sense. Very well. Just gotta quickly set this up. At least it's only on 4. And there's a degree to which each of these monitors should maybe be a prefab. However, they do have some different things going on. They have the different like names. And the idea is, in theory, as this kind of goes on, they become more and more different. Where, in theory, eventually they even have their own different, maybe slightly different monitors, just for more of that being different. So the ideas are now they might be similar, but they'll potentially be getting extra different. Okay, so going in, everything starts out being fine. But if I try to rotate this, now, yeah, I have an extra axis I can rotate stuff on. So this can be slightly hovering up and down or whatever, and then the actual act of moving in and out should be then the same as it was before. Should be uninterrupted. Okay. So now that means okay. There's 2 ways I do this. One, I have the video monitor manager control the amounts going up and down on all these monitors. 2, I put code directly on these pivots. Part of that is, if they're going to always just slightly hover up and down a consistent amount the whole time, like unrelated to whatever the monitor manager is doing, then it could be on here. If they're being controlled separately by, like the monitor manager is being like, okay, for each clip it's going to hover slightly different amounts. then probably part of the code should be on here, and then the monitor manager should just then update values on this thing. Yeah, that seems like a decent way to separate it. Okay. I'm still going to call this extra movement. Extra, or extra, for this, depending on how complicated it is, I'm gonna be generic, call it extra motion or whatever, just so it control the movement and the position. You know what, just to be consistent, I will rename the objects. Motion. Okay. Blah blah blah. Remember to add stuff on. Huzzah. And then. Okay. So we just start with. We will start with it being consistent, and then if it works, then I move on to it being more dynamic. Like each clip potentially having its own amount. We got to figure out what variables do we want to play with. I guess so the amplitude of how high will you go, and the frequency, just standard like sine wave stuff. So we'll start with just making this stuff public so I can mess with it here. So just public float. I guess we just straight up go with those terms. And well, do I want it to just be a pure sine wave, or any kind of like extra weird like jitter or something? I guess for now we just go with the standard sine wave and then go from there. Amplitude equals, I don't know what we'll want this to equal, so we'll just start with 1. Like float. Frequency equals also 1 until I just get whatever actual value I need this to be. So the handy dandy thing with this specifically, these all being zeroed out relative to whatever a pivot above it is doing is, I don't really need, assuming this stays how this currently is, I don't need to care about any offsets. I can just directly set the position. I will want to set the local position, but yeah. So there's some kind of just a transform.local. I said I was going to start with actually the rotation. Specifically, can I get local Euler angles? We're going to try setting these directly. Sometimes I only learned that you could do this like a couple streams ago, rather than having go dot like rotation dot Euler angles equals quaternion dot Euler blarg. But I do know that messing with these directly can potentially have problems, but we're going to see if it can work in this case. Because if I were directly setting it rather than trying to rotate it based on like stuff that it already is and having to care about above or below 360 or whatever, yeah, should be fine. So we're gonna say I want to rotate this on the z-axis, I believe. Yeah, that amount. Let's get some numbers in here. How much? I want it to be. I want to start with it being subtle and slow. And then once we see it, then I'll kind of ramp it up until I see, okay, like how much is too much. So it looked like 5 on either axis, so I'll put it here. Although I already saved the code, so I'm going to change the actual variables in the thing. Frequency, again, I'll figure it out. So we'll say vector3 dot forward times amplitude to start. No, not just that. Mathf dot sine, the main thing that's necessary here. Wait, no, hold on. Over here is where I meant to put it. Because I don't need to go like, I wonder. Okay, there's no like, signed angle is a different thing. Those are basically like, oh, do the sine of each individual part, but no, of course not. It makes sense that that's not a thing. I only right now need to do it on the one part. We'll see if I need to do it on the other 3 bits with different amplitudes and different frequencies or whatever, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. Yeah, I guess we just. I just want to see what this looks like before I've. Wait! I've just realized I've done the wrong thing here. This isn't even right. Time dot time. This time dot time. I don't know if I care for it to be scaled time or unscaled time or whatever. We'll try just time.time times frequency times amplitude that's what this should be. Or times period, I forget off the top of my head, whatever, it's fine. It's close enough, the numbers just need to work. So let's just go in and see. Oh wait, this did get the 5. Okay. Okay. So I think numbers need to be messed with, but I immediately like this more. I think for like this one, if I'm showing code, what's subtle and fast? Fast I think is bad. I think it's probably not good. Oh well, hold on, I have to go in. And yeah, maybe each one has kind of its own stuff going on. I already forget what numbers I went with. So it was like 1 and 0.1. No. 0.5. This the up and down ones might not work so well. I now realize. I just want to wait to. I mainly the left and right ones are kind of the most common directions, so I'm more focusing on them for right now. Do I like this? I'm undecided. Is it too distracting that the video is moving? Let me just to try things. Also, let's put this back at being at 1, just cause. If I were to also do this to the position, let me try the hovering way of doing this, which actually for now this is gonna be the exact same thing. I should make separate variables. We'll call this like move amplitude and like move frequency. I suppose I could call it hover, but and then rot amplitude and rot frequency or something like that. This move amplitude has to be like quite small, I imagine. Blah, and then blah, and then blah, and then blah. I want to first try just the position part of it. Wrong axis. I want you to be up down, which means Again, for the like not the up down for the so like okay, that's too much, but like yeah, that's obviously too much. Okay, I mean yeah, it's also I think too fast. But this, I think that the animations, the intro animation and the outro animation will probably be fixed. Like they might not move, potentially. We'll see. Is that too distracting? Man, I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess I go the extra mile and try both ways. And again, it could change on a clip-by-clip basis, like or more by the type of clip. A clip of me talking directly into the camera versus a clip of like gameplay stuff versus a clip of code might have different amounts of how much motion is too much or too little. Okay, so let's try, what was this? 0.2, 1, 5, and 1-ish. Just trying having both the hovering and the moving. Just seeing kind of what that looks like. They are on the same frequency, which means they're moving together. I might want them to kind of get offset. You know what? This... Okay, this, if it was, like, maybe I am going, like, not subtle enough. Why are these not wanting to change? Yeah, there we go. If I make these a lot more subtle, like, have the higher, like, the amplitudes. You're not, like, going off screen. I want to be careful of the clips not going off screen too much. I guess a little bit off the edges is fine. Man, this is... I thought that as soon as I did it, I'd be able to more easily be like, yeah, this works, or no, this doesn't. I'm very on the fence. Maybe I could make it even more subtle. Is the amplitude too much? Yeah, that ain't good. Do I focus on the other axes? Man, okay. This is... I do think that having the move frequency and rotation frequency be like out of sync is probably good, maybe. Is like right now it's like it's very slightly moving down, like whatever. I think the rotation part is too low because I'm not really seeing it. When it's moving up and down, makes me more think of something breathing rather than hovering. I don't know. Like, go overboard, be super fast. Try reading it now. No. Yeah, obviously that's not good. I want to wait for this to get to a clip of, not this. So, like, obviously, no. That's very jiggly. There's a lot more jiggly, but, like, still probably too much, right? Okay, hold on. Like, it feels like both too much, but also it's perfect at the same time. This feels visually interesting to be like, whoa! I could also, if I really wanted to, I could mess with the actual axis of, like, of the pivot, maybe. Because, like, maybe that would make all the difference if it actually moved and rotated based off its center. But it shouldn't rotate off of its center because it should be kind of feeling like it's, like, the part of, like, not just being a hovering monitor, like, it's somehow anchored to something off screen, and it's somehow rotating based on that or something. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I divide these by 2. Being slower. It is about to end, which will kick me out of play mode. I'll have to re-put in the settings. I think it's also it's hard because I am watching this as someone who knows the script. I know what's happening. I wrote the video. So, like, I know what's going on. I'm not getting lost what's going on. So someone who is not me is watching this and has no idea what any of this is the movement going to be too distracting that they're not going to know what's going on. So is this better? Oh, right. That breaks it. Hold on. Just taking a screenshot of this. Dump it in like paint. I don't know completely why, but I know that when you control Z, when clips are playing, they like to just break. But I don't know if that's because of something I've done in this scene, or if that's just kind of in general, some stuff with video player things. Yeah, that's too much, right? I do think that is too much. Divide up by 3. I was considering whether I need to add like random offsets so that they're not all hovering together, but it doesn't really matter that they're hovering together because only one's on the screen at a time. And as I said, I don't know if I like for now if I were while I'm still figuring out kind of what the overall amount of moving that I want is. I don't know if I want to really make like have these be individual variables on all of the things just yet. Because then when I modify one, I potentially have to modify 18 more. If I want more movement like this, maybe let's put a pin in this at the moment. And the other thing that I wanted to mess with is the camera. So maybe it'll eventually look better that like the monitors don't move as much, but the background moves more. Now, I don't fully want to commit to designing a whole background right now, but I could just do something simple. I didn't necessarily want. I wasn't thinking I'd have the camera move like hover in the same way that I'm potentially having the monitors. Ideally, the camera is either like maybe it's stationary and it's like slightly turning, or it's turning consistently, like it's slowly spinning in a circle as if I block out a whole thing, or it's like constantly flying like forward through a whole environment. I imagine that if the camera is moving, it's not just doing a quick like back and forth loop. It's like it's either. I imagine it's either slowly spinning, like to show off something, or it's flying through something that right now, for like a simple kind of thing, would just be a very consistent, stable amount of moving. For a later video could maybe I have a whole environment that it's dynamically flying around to different points. But that is kind of above the scope of this video. So let me first try the simpler thing. Here goes camera movement. Motion. Camera motion, I guess. I don't know. The turning thing is faster and easier to kind of get working in this specific scenario. So let me try that first. I then could also, on the monitors, turn those floats into vector 3s and try actually having all of the axes of the monitors move, and maybe that'll look better. I don't know. Or maybe I could do that and then get away with them being extra slow, but they're going on all of the axes. Maybe, yeah, I can get away with that better. I don't know. But we're here to find out. Okay, so let's start with just spin. Just spin on the, what axis are you? The y-axis in this particular context. And I do have that the X is a thing. Do I make a whole camera pivot? No. For now, I'll just hard-code it on this. Don't worry. Public float spin speed equals 5. And then we're just gonna straight up go transform.local Euler angles equals. I need to keep the one being the same, so we'll go new vector 3 as 25 Not like that, no. In here then being, no, I was about to do the sine wave thing. How do I want to basically do this? I guess I just need to keep track of some... Wait, I am overcomplicating this. I'm overcomplicating this too much. I don't need to keep track of all these variables. I know there's a built-in rotate function. Just use it and it will be easier. Transfer dot rotate, put an axis and angle. I guess vector 3 dot up and spin speed. And it can be that simple. I'm so used to like, oh, I rotate it more manually so that I can like control the speed for like lerping and like fast, slow, like whatever. But no, this is simple. Then we got a Beyblade on our hands. At least the lighting's changing. That's a whole other thing that can be better. So even though this isn't what we want, let me just like, okay, I can see that causing motion sickness rotating that fast. It's not rotating on the right axis, but if even that's too fast. I was imagining it'd be like really slow. Let me just get it on the right axis. So you didn't. This is like. No, you aren't. How do I make you local? Tensor.rotate is like not being. Is relative to. You're saying I can go relative to space dot world. Okay. Yes. Do that one, please. I think. Oh, the rotation bound is still gonna be too high. Okay. So this amount of idle movement. If I built up more of the environment, which I don't even know, like, if what I would do, or if I'd leave it just being a grid thing, but kind of in a box. Do I show any of the skybox? I don't think so. Skybox isn't anything really right now. It's just like more of a placeholder thing. Let me just cheat and. Oh, you're not gonna let me. Oh, there we go. Kind of get back to where actually seeing the grid and not just the blue. So the lighting's so the thing is that the lighting is changing. I currently don't have the video itself being affected by lighting. I could, but there's a degree to which I almost would probably want the video itself to be showing its more like true colors for just the sake of what's in the video, probably. I don't always have to do that. Maybe the next one with lasers. I do like lasers usually have like lots of glowy stuff, so maybe I play more fancy with the lighting. I don't know how much I necessarily want like objects to be casting shadows on the clips. These monitors themselves are currently set up to not be casting shadows. I can change that, but then you have like the whole like these arms are not gonna cast nice shadows, so I don't know what I want to do. If I have these casting shadows, I might have to then do more with that. I go here. Oh, you got like out of not being consistent. Okay, just put you on to cast shadows just for now, just because. Oh right, the monitor and the arms are different. Although if one casted shadows and the other didn't, that might look extra weird. But let me see. When this goes back around, I think you'll start to see its shadows, maybe. Yeah. Well, I see them in the camera. I start to. Do I want that slight bit of detail? Oh, I'm seeing the shadow of the above monitor. I kind of like having that little bit of shadow. Of if it was something else that wasn't the monitor, maybe. Shadows are interesting. But then it breaks the illusion the monitors are just floating when, I don't know. Like, the illusion is that they're, like, attached to the camera somehow through some, like, robotic madness. Or something like that. I don't know. Man, it's, yeah. Hard to tell. Hard to tell, like, what is a good idea and what's a great idea. No. What's, like, making this better and what's making this worse. But, and part of what we're doing is... Part of doing this was just to try stuff so that I could see it, so it'd be easier potentially to make that decision. Like, ideally, I think the extra amount of motion is good. I just gotta not overdo it, because I can then also compare what does this look like if I no monitor movement with this rotating background. Okay, now going back to having seen the movement for that long and now going back to no movement, I'm immediately like, I miss the slight movement. Like this feels too static. But like, ooh, right, and that's broken now. But if it's too much, it doesn't have to be this much. Like I can make it more subtle if I really wanted to. But no. I mean, it could still make it slightly more subtle from how it was in that, but. And I like that, so this being like 133 or whatever, like just these being slightly out of sync, I think potentially helps. Okay, let's, I guess next thing, do I want to go all the way to making these vector 3s and actually having that option to mess with all the axes? I guess we're gonna try stuff, because that's what I said we're gonna do. Which, that means I gotta... I guess have each frequency be different. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start by just passing in all of the sort of default values from here, so I took a screenshot of them. So it was 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. And then this was, hold on, I may as well just copy these. I didn't need to copy the semicolon part, but whatever. And then put in these were 2. And 3. And then these were, do I want to put like 1/3? Yeah, just so I get that perfect. Ratio. Okay, something like that. Now these got to actually work off of those. Yikes! Which is gonna have to then just be, I think, just new vector 3, where each one is. Yeah, because each one I'm applying these different things to, or am I? Is there a better way to do what I'm about to do? Times new frequency dot x times this dot x, because I need to apply the sine part of it like internally to this. I can't apply one sine wave over the whole thing, because then I'm treating this as 3 separate calculations with 3 independent numbers and then kind of combining it at the end. That combining at the end is the vector 3 part of it. So yeah, okay. And it won't take that long to just quickly go paste, and then paste, and then brackets. Then I gotta swap z, y, y. Okay. And then just the same deal on here. Yeah. Wait, are you gonna automatically? Yes, please. Awesome. Yeah, saving me some work. Okay, cool. Do I need anything in start? Nah. For now, no. I might eventually need. Why did you come out of those all zeros? Uh-oh. You really didn't like this? Fine. 1.33. Yeah. You know what? You get a 3rd decimal point just because. Will that update these here? I'm gonna hope that they do. It probably won't. It won't. Fine. 1.33. Whoa. Seems weird seeing 3 decimal points. I'm so used to just doing like 2, or just seeing a lot. Right, I didn't, the camera. I'll put you back to, I don't even know what you were. Oh, you were 0.01. Yep, and I'll leave the shadow casting off for now, at least. Maybe eventually I make a more, if I have more detailed, robust, like less faking the illusion with the arms, that I'd be more willing to show it. Okay, so first impression. The moving back and forth is kind of nice. I feel like I should be doing more to have... Oh, yeah, I think the animation, I think, should be more overridden. Now that it's moving in all of the directions, should it now be more subtle on each individual axis? This is gonna be so many more numbers to mess with. Yikes. Okay. And do I want to introduce like a random offset? So I'm tempted to like have each one of these sort of start at a random point along their repeating and all that. Just so they're more like out of sync. My problem with that is I'm hesitant to introduce randomness too much into this because I want on each playback for it to be consistent, ideally. Just so I don't have any weird things. I will, however, just slightly be like, anything that makes these slightly out of sync. 0.1. Hopefully I'll remember to kind of copy and paste these before I go to play mode. I guess let's start with... So any of these I put on 0, that's going to be turning off an axis. Don't press Control Z or else it'll break things. So this is the going back and forth. There is a limit where it becomes too much on some things. So be careful with that. This is the going forward and backwards also. Don't go too far with it. Don't go too far with it, one, but also I might have to actually... on the actual, these models, like, these arms, you see so little of them that I can probably cut back them. I may have crossed into it being too much. Let's 0.1. Let me try, yeah, halving the amplitude on all of these, just to, like, now that they're moving on all of the axes. Maybe that'll help. Or make it worse. Oh, I want to see a moving clip. Okay. Maybe this is good. I do still want slightly different. What the Z is the forward and back, so I want to be careful. It's kind of cool for the stuff to be going slightly off screen. I do want to be careful with it. I do still have, like, the actual monitors themselves, the default, like, rotation can be, I still have more messing around to do with those, potentially. Okay, so now the rotation stuff. This is the rotating up and down, and again, want to be careful with. But this, I feel like, can justify being more. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Okay, we're getting somewhere cool, I think. This is the rotating left and right. That's also like... Oh, it's left and right there, the up and down kind of here. Again, not going too far with it. Not going too far. And then this is the forward and back. I could potentially have it be that, like, the monitors that are off screen have like more code so that they don't rotate, so they don't risk rotating in. But I got the amplitude just probably shouldn't be that high in the first place. May I put that one back down though? This is the third last clip of the thing. I gotta make sure I pause it before it ends for real. Then these rotation frequencies. Don't wanna... Because, like, these aren't that much different. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna, just so I don't miss it. I can go, why can't I copy component? Right, select any of these, they're all the same. Copy component, go out, paste component on all of these. And then we're good. Okay. I probably should, for too much longer, if the camera might be doing some slight rotating, or at least while I'm trialing the idea of it slightly rotating, let me just box this in. I don't need to box in the roof. Right now I'm having it spin on this one axis. Like, I don't know, maybe there's more I could play around with. Like, maybe it could just be a simple, rather than rotating, it is a simple, like, moving, and I make this like, so long. It basically, it being more like a scroll kind of a thing. Ooh, this kind of is like going down an elevator. It doesn't have to be going, because, my outro animation is like going forward along a bunch of the capsules of the things. It doesn't have to be on the Z-axis. I could just, yeah, go up like we're going up an elevator kind of deal. I'm gonna attempt the surrounding thing. I just want to trial another idea first. Make this very, very tall, and then just for consistency, for somewhat consistency, I will this wall, I've hidden it. That's not actually, it's cheating. It's not actually gone. Okay. This is the wall that's casting the shadow. I could also make this super long. It's casting a shadow, but then I could move it over here. Whoa, being like isn't like a video to really have a half thing. I see no reason to do that, but I was gonna say it having some kind of slight. Whoa, what the? Wow, weird. Oh, it's so weird. That's not what I was going for at first, but like, weird, just weird, because hold on. If I have accidentally stumbled into something cool, hold on. Wait, oh no. Why are you not? Oh, negative. Yeah, negative. Just trying it being on both sides, and then. That's it's a weird shape, but let me just mess with it for a minute. Lighting, I don't know if that should be even different to account for that. Lighting. Hold on here. Which way are you facing? I can't even tell. You're the like kind of backlight to face the other way. If I just do this. Man, I cannot tell which way this light's going. Oh, I mean, I can do that. That's not what I was going for. Maybe I don't do that. Maybe I just take this one. Turn it more or something. Whoa. I want the scene to be, like, brightly lit. Wait, why is this, like... What the heck? Why is this wall getting no light? Nope, come on, turn around, you. Okay, no, you're... Yeah, the wall's fine. It's just... Ooh. Brightly lit, and then going into shadow. Ooh, that I kind of like. I might accidentally... That should not be how that is. The Z part of the directional light doesn't matter. Haha. Heh. No. No, I think how it was here was good. If you're on an angle, and the further this goes up, the further it'll kind of go away. I don't know how well... What? What? Wait, why do you... Oh, these walls aren't infinite. Oh no. If I make them as equally as tall, that doesn't break the light. Okay. Oh, this shadow... Okay. There's the reflection probe that isn't sized properly, and this, I guess it should be this. Alright, just bake that. Then this should go up. Let's see if that does any of what I want it to. Wait for that down there. Just even out. Be the same color. You're not. Did I mess up the wrong thing? What is affecting... Oh, it is you. Yeah, okay. Oh, wrong axis, that's all. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, fine. Which, okay. This, and then, on the camera, just transform dot. This is a translate. I don't need... yeah, you know what? Fine. I've like never used translate ever. Transfer dot position equals blah. But you know what? Doing slightly new things. Just I want to move this up. Vector 3 dot up times public. I'm just gonna call this a speed. Equals. I know that this need to be like 0.01. I'm not doing these in any kind of. Just realize that this definitely should have a time delta time. Be consistent with that frame rate. Not that it matters as much in this particular case, but it should still be done. So this, I don't know, should be higher. Go back to like a 1. Same here, whatever. Delta time. I'm assuming you have the same, yeah, space dot world in this context. Okay, don't know if these speeds are going to be good. I'm going to assume that they won't be. Oh, for now I want to have it not rotate. Ooh, having it be like a, yeah, thing that it spins around. I don't know if that's something I want. Okay. Interesting. Again, this potentially shouldn't be too fast. It can be cool. It's like we're rising up an elevator, is what this seems like. I can also see what's the vibe if we're going down. This is like we're going deep underground somewhere. I don't know, just doing stuff. I can then from here mess with the rotation of things. That I understand will again have to be redone or whatever. Ooh, this... Well, now that I've rotated mostly up, now it feels less like we're... This kind of goes back around to being like we're moving forward through something rather than moving up. But I can still kind of use this to trial the idea, and if I really like it, then I can go with it. The idea of it, like, slowly spinning as it goes up, but is that too much? I don't know if the spinning is good, unless it's, like, very subtle. But even just... starting on like an angle, like that's a thing I can do. I can see the roof. Ideally, I would kind of, you know, if it's at this extreme an angle, it'd go off more infinitely. And again, you can't see you can mainly see backgrounds as I kind of cut away between stuff. But this is, it's weird. But I'm just messing with just different things and like hopefully coming across something cool along the way. This is definitely not what I was expecting until I accidentally rotated a wall and was like, wait, interesting. Do I want this where it's like, it's almost like then the focus is on like this left here. If I then cover up, you know, all up, made this kind of go a big around thing. I see the shadows kind of breaking there. I'm going to ignore that. And it's also that I make the speed way like down if I'm like, as like I'm moving away from this kind of a thing. Whoa. Move too far. Then again, there's the idea of like how subtle is it? Is this like very slight background thing? Again, it's supposed to be kind of subtle, but it can be like have some speed to it. As a I guess do more messing around with the shadows if they're gonna behave wonky this far away. Depending on their speed, that affects how like far they have to go out. I bring back the slight spin, although you're not going to be spinning on the axis that I want you to be. Right, now the spin becomes degrees per second. I think that's still... now the spin is too much. It should either be... Yeah. If it's moving like that fast, then like the spin should be slow. If there's spin at all. Maybe it is very subtle, so it's very like slow spin throughout the whole 5-minute thing. I've made a lot of changes that I'm now gonna undo as I go out of play mode. And if this is like the angle that I want, I should uncheat and like do it properly if this is like moving forward through something rather than the moving up. Which, like, is that what I want? Do I want to just... Like, I don't know. I don't know. Why are all of these rotating? Because I'm on the wrong thing. Yep, okay, that would do it. That would do it. Back to... Yeah. Do I just keep this... Do I like... Whoa, Unity, no! Why? No! Don't crash on me. Well, so much for copying stuff and take it out of play mode. Back to launch it again and go back at it. Okay, I didn't undo the making of the walls, just mainly the rotation of the camera, messing with its settings. Oh well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're already back up. Okay. Okay, so again, where was, like, of all this messing around, how do I wish to handle it? So I want the camera to be looking down. I mean, yeah, there's the looking down but moving up. I do want to, I guess, be somewhat conscious of, like, the more extreme the angle, the more stuff I gotta make. Yeah, at least for all this for now. There's some degree where, like, some of this I'm gonna have to, like, do it and then, like, look back at stuff later. I've noticed that I don't have anti-aliasing on. I don't know if I should, if that's gonna potentially make anything in the distance look better. But yeah, whatever. Do I want the one showing the animation to be still, or would that be too jarring? I don't know. Because I don't want to go through all the coding it to then, like, if I can decide now that it's something I don't want. Let me do a test real quick and launch, get all the way to test clip 16, see the outro. And then I just want to kind of see what the outro animation is kind of looking like. I started too early. I want to start on clip 17 because 18 is the outro. Yes. That'll do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you around. Kind of adds more to the animation a little bit. And then it's just like subtle background stuff, people clicking off the video at this point anyway. There's gonna be like YouTube title card, or the like cards like, here's another, like other videos to watch there anyway. So that, yeah, might have to be things that I come back to. I don't know. One thing I don't properly know how to handle is if... Oops, not that. This. I did notice that if I take the camera really far up, the lighting eventually does stop cooperating. And, like, you know, why... What can I do about that? I guess if I mean, these things in theory should be able to have baked shadows. So there's that. Yeah, I've put this for now to like auto-generate. Let it do its thing. Just with that, no other things. Does this? No, like what is this? Why do you think that that's the correct way to light that thing? I guess that part of it's to do with just, here's these, like, massive objects, rather than, if it was just a bunch of small, like, rather than, because right now I have a single object that's trying to span 2,000 units, and I get that that's probably a problem, but, these walls marked as static? Oh. As a test of things. Like, what happens if I clear the baked data completely? Do you happen to fix yourself? Not in the slightest. If I were to actually go baked global illumination, you are marked as static everywhere that matters. I don't know. There's also like that stuff. Okay. Ah. Generate lighting again as an experiment. There's also a lot more lighting-y related stuff I can do with... Ooh, I could have fog. Well, that's not... Oh, there we go. Okay. As just an experiment. Does make things a lot darker, though. But I could have it be a color. Let's try blue for a second to make it extra subtle. I don't know if I want that extra bit of tinting. I kind of wanted to keep the background being, like, more black and white. White fog, though. It does kind of, like, I don't know if in this case, the sort of blurring the background, I don't know if that actually helps. Come back to that. Unfortunately, now I just have to wait for that. Hope that this doesn't make the stream drop frames. I think I can see it getting a little bit choppy, but oh well. Yep, that's lighting stuff. So I, to some degree, wanted to more mess with the lighting stuff off stream, but yeah. And it's only a problem if it gets that high. I guess I could start this a lot lower, and then it has a lot more to go. If it's going slow enough, then it has, yeah, a lot more to go before it potentially gets all weird. Okay, actually, I think even that much is too much. Oops. Oh wait, I'm not. Oh, how much of this was coming from the fog versus how much this I thought was coming from the fog when it's actually coming from the global illumination, which I don't necessarily want that much glowing. Let me just go into play mode, but I'm probably going to undo this in a second. I barely noticed the fog, but I kind of wanted it. If I were to have this kind of fog, I did want it to be subtle, so maybe that's good. Right, if I have too much fog, it starts literally actually like fogging up the video itself. I don't know. Yep. I can't click the game view. Okay, whatever. Weird. might turn off global illumination for now. Oh, that's not the button. Bleh. Turn it again. Just I don't want that to be that shiny. I could mess with the material like specular and metallic smoothness and all that, but not right now. Not right now. You still look kind of. Do I want to just be more flat and consistent like that, rather than blurring it like this? So maybe I leave it super subtle, but even just having it, it's like, I don't know, this is messier to deal with. Maybe having a little bit is good. If I were to go with this style, which okay, I'm gonna turn it off for now, just at least be messing with changing stuff. I would then have to take this and make it go all the way around. In the act of doing that's gonna mess with the lighting. That is a conundrum. Back to the. Well, I'll start by doing it and then kind of seeing afterwards. Why are you all the way up there? Turning on your centers, just go like around 180 like that or something. Make this kind of hex thing, I guess. Oh, the lighting is ruined. Really? Is that because I baked the lighting? Let me clear it for a minute. No. Well, is the light just happened to be angled down enough? Let me just kind of see what this is looking like when it does the full spin. Just turn it up temporarily. Yeah, it kind of goes into this sort of more shadowed area, which, like, I guess that's a very hard corner back there. Let me also, before I go any further, I've realized that the video is not, like, I would be playing the actual proper rest of the video, probably. And just, again, kind of turn the speed up so we can kind of see more around. Not a perfect, like, hexagonal shape, but I guess, like, I wasn't really trying for that. It does go through a lot of shadows. There's not, I guess, a whole lot of the room that is lit. I kind of would rather that most of it would be. Like before, that when it's not rotating, it's like most of it was lit, and just here's this little bit that's like in shadow just for varied lighting, kind of. Well, I mean, then that's potentially solved by just making the lighting better. Take this and just now that side is lit up the same. Do I care about so the actual like angle? That's annoying. That's a very sharp angle. This, I mean, I could, if I wanted to sort all this to be. Why are you going off of that one? Okay. I could re-angle this to be better, but I don't know. I mean, having these be like further back, that's nothing more interesting. Made these ones I rotate just a little bit more, just to kind of, oh, not like that. I wanted you to be. Yeah, make some of this asymmetry be good. Wow. I don't know. Okay. Let's just try that out. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Still don't completely know if I'm even settled on. Is that darker? Did that get darker? Might have. Oh, because I cleared the lighting. Yeah, that would probably do that. Also, I never set up what I want the lighting to be. Like, yeah, do more with the default kind of stuff. Okay, so is this what I want, or is this too much? I don't know. This whole, like, is effectively like a rising elevator kind of aesthetic. I don't know for sure if that's what I want. But I'm not, so this, with this whole, there's like 10 videos on making this kind of style. This part doesn't have to be, like, consistent as part of the style. It's more just the swinging monitor kind of thing and just it being in a Unity scene. Each one could be different. The next one could be in more of a static environment, a laser. I mean, because this is basically just like, oh, it's just a grid, so I'm just having a more interesting way to kind of be panning across a grid. Where in the next one, I imagine with all the lasers and stuff, I might build more of a enclosed environment of lasers and stuff going on that's cool. So then the camera in that might be more just panning around that, perhaps. Yeah. I've noticed this says combined mesh. What is this talking about? What? It's not, because I marked them all as static, is it combining it all as one big mesh or something weird like that? Interesting. Or a bunch of sub-meshes, maybe because it's so gigantic? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't seen that before. I assume it's, part of that's because I'm in play mode, but yeah. Okay. That was back to the light side of the back wall. Which, it's variety, I guess, and I guess that's what I wanted. That's potentially more interesting what's happening right now than... I have... this is super compressed, but like... So this looks bad on my end as well, because I this thing I sent it in my Discord. No, wait, hold on, I have the uncompressed version, so why don't I just find that? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Better. This is what we kind of had earlier today. Static background, monitors not moving. But you can see what's going on in the video and whatnot. Do something like this, it's like, wow. Like, yeah, I'm talking over it and stuff. I'm like, yeah. So comparing that to this. Yeah. Is it better? And I guess I can unmute this for now. Because it's then still also missing potential background music. All this background music in the stream right now, so it's like, pretend that that's in the video. It's like, close enough. Unsure. Again, like,
we could just take the position that we know is going to go up the relative amount that we want.
I do like the extra motion. On this monitor specifically, like with the code, I think this is working good.
It actually does something. And just like that, the animation is flipped.
Yeah.
Just knowing the right technique, just a little bit of code can be so cool. We can then take this a step further.
I'm not completely sold on the environment, but it is like, it's varied. I mean, it's subtle in the background thing. It's motion. There being the like, because it doesn't. I don't need the rotation and the rotation if I really didn't want it. I could have it just be moving up and then just here's the background, and like maybe that's better. I could also just have the spinning and no moving. I can still, I guess I can further mess with the speeds and see if I get anything that I like better. I don't think I like the fast spinning. I think the fast spinning is more motion sick inducing. But the subtle turning, you just get more, yeah, moving of the grid itself. Maybe I don't know if they should be cut down more or be higher.
No time to think. You can play it if you'd like from the description. It's got 18 levels, some neat mechanics, and
And you get this idea of like, does it look better if it's moving down? Also the angle, right? Like it could be straight on, it could be slightly looking up. I don't know. I don't know. I like them moving up more. I think it was like this. It had to be on a slight angle.
That'll do it for this video. If you liked it,
oh, video's ending.
Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around.
Do I like it more being on a diagonal? Let it end. Let me recreate that real quick. Maybe it was more like subtle. The leaning slightly this way, and then the leaning up instead of down.
I made a game in 9 days, not for any sort of competition or whatever, just as a fun little challenge to plan, make, and complete a game in a short amount of time. And now I want to make a tutorial out of something that I did while making that game. Something that when I made, I went, oh cool, I didn't know that was a
Is it rotating?
Neat. So now I'm passing that new knowledge to you. So to talk about something specific I made in this game of mine, let me first briefly show you the game itself. It's called No Time to Think. So here we have the game, and you don't gotta worry about everything else going on.
Interesting. I think I like this. Maybe if it was more subtle.
Enemies, rings, all. And you gotta get to a goal. So what we're gonna focus on here is how the player moves from square to square. This cube doesn't just snap to the next.
I don't want looking up too much. I don't want you to like. The more it's looking up, the more I have to care about the environment all the way up there. Same with the speed. If I may lower the speed again and keep the rotation being subtle. That rotation shouldn't be too high, or I can definitely see it being more of a problem.
Now, there are probably so many different places that you can use this kind of thing, but we're gonna.
How much lean up should there be? Maybe not much. Could also be looking down.
So this is that singular animation that we're working with here. Sometimes when you animate a character in a game,
maybe looking down is better.
You can animate a character running in place, then move a parent game object to actually move the player around. I could have done that here.
As soon as if I should have turned sideways, then it's like, yeah, more like moving down a room.
Also made it easier to see the timing of this squash and stretch animation in motion rather than trying to decipher.
Oh, do I prefer that?
So with this one animation that stretches,
although the axis that we're going down is weird.
There could be many solutions to approach this problem. Some have different pros and cons.
If it was more like this, that'd be interesting.
It works wonderfully. This is the part of the code that controls the flow, and we can ignore most of it except the parts we actually change. All that you need to know is that there's this moving direction.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Deciding what way the player is currently moving. So up, down, left.
I like the moving up and turning. Oh, okay.
Well, if we try to change the position of the
interesting.
object in Update, say by putting in some random position we want to set it to, we'll quickly find that it does nothing. The animation takes over and just does the upward version regardless of what we do in Update. Trying to change the position just doesn't it's caused by the order that things run behind the scenes.
Do I like it as much as we go into the darker part?
For the order that Unity's special functions run. As you can see,
maybe. Otherwise, I probably should.
Unity does the animation calculations and sets the positions for what the animation. So are we out of luck? No.
Decisions. Decisions.
If the name isn't descriptive enough, late update is like update in that it runs every frame, but it runs even later in the frame.
It's also like the X and Y. If I, yeah, that should probably stay as it is at this point.
This means that in late update,
Z, you're at like a -9. Okay.
Entirely by setting the position of the object to whatever we want. Or, where we get more cool and interesting behavior, is by looking at where the animation has decided.
Okay, let me go to here. If I do make this being this 88, I should. If I do commit to this, I should rotate the whole room and have it be more proper. But I can mess around with this for a second. So what about this, basically?
There are a lot of things that move in video games, and lots of those moving things need animation. Hey there, I'm Cyberchroma. That move in video games, and lots of those moving things need animation. Hey there, I'm
unsure. This feels more weirdly like unique, just the way this motion is. I don't know. I don't think elevator as much.
Now I want to make a tutorial out of something that I did while making that game. Something that when I made,
Maybe this should be more
I didn't know that was
flat against this.
neat. And so now I'm passing that new knowledge to you.
I don't know if it'd be interesting if I actually made a more like cylindrical room or something with this
Let me first briefly show you the
grid texture going along
no
it.
time to
I
think.
don't know.
So here we have the game, and you don't gotta
Maybe like the,
understand
I don't know,
what's
the
going on here,
edged
but
walls,
basically you have a character that moves around in a grid on a
extra
timer,
details
kinda like
or something. I don't
There's
know.
different obstacles that you gotta move around. Enemies, springs, all. And you gotta get to a goal. So what we're gonna focus on
And with the way the camera is, it does kind of, as it's rotating the room, there's some parts where the grid's a lot closer, and there's some parts where the grid's more like further away.
It's just more interesting. Now, though this cube can move in 4 different directions and it has 4 ways to stretch, there's actually only one animation being used here. So this is something I'm calling animation overriding. Basically the idea of having one animation and being able to reuse it in different contexts with the magic that is coding. There are probably so many different places that you can use this kind of thing.
Huh.
But we're going to use
Okay.
as an example the way that I used it on this plate. So this is that singular animation that we're working with here.
Question is, do I like this more or less than the alternative? Back to it being more of an elevator, like moving up. But this, like, I don't know, on an angle kind of thing.
Also made it easier to see the timing of this squash and stretch animation in motion.
I think I do like this more. This, I don't know, when I want it like this, then I want it to be negative.
Downwards. There could be many solutions to approach this problem. Some have different pros and cons. This is the one
Do I
want
wanna
to
look
go with,
up?
and for me, it worked wonderfully. This is the part of the code that controls the player, and we can ignore most of it except the parts we actually want to change. All that you need to know.
No, I think I like looking back. I like this. Similar to the animation currently on screen, I like the, I don't know, closer grid to this more exposed part here. I don't know.
Change the position of the animated object in update, say by putting in some random position we want to set.
Yeah, like this I like.
Find that it does nothing.
Although down here is so
It just does the upward
much
regardless of
grid
what
that,
we're
I don't know, maybe
trying to change
have
the
that be a
position just doesn't
little
work.
bit less.
This is caused by the order that things run behind the scenes not being in our favor here. You see, in Unity, there's this handy reference image for the order that Unity's special functions run. As you can see, the update function runs early on, then later in the same frame, Unity does the animation calculations and sets the positions for what the animation wants it to be.
So like, 20, 80,
if the name isn't descriptive
2,
enough,
-3.
update
And, you know, I'll fine tune that as well. So like this, perhaps.
There are a lot of things that move in
Again, I feel like this goes like more, slightly more unique than the way that the kind of elevator thing was.
I made a game in 9 days, not for any sort of competition or whatever, just as a fun little challenge to plan, make, complete a game.
Now, if I do try to rotate all of this, the lighting's gonna be off, unless I guess I rotate the lights as well.
When I made, I went, oh cool, I didn't know that that was a thing that could be done. Neat. And so now, I'm passing that new knowledge to you. So to talk about something specific I made
Now
in
I'm
a game of mine, let me
a little curious. I have this thing start at like -310. I'm curious about, like, at its current speed, like, how far along does it actually move, and how close does it get from, like, going kind of from -1,000 to +1,000? Oh, right, no, the thing is 1,000 tall, so it's like -500 to +500. Yeah.
It has a nice bouncy squash and stretch animation. More dynamic movement, it's just more interesting.
Interesting how I end up going with the result where the spinning was as much as it was before, you know, the speed was higher than the spin. I expected it to be that way. I could still have the speed be larger, but I don't think that works as well here. I think this does work better with a lower speed. But now the question is also, do I want to even make the spin lower?
I could have done that here, but since the player moves in these fixed grid increments, I decided to actually have the animation include.
No, I think that, like, having it spin more, I don't know, helps the kind of cylindricaliness of it be more what I want it to be, I think.
Rather than trying to decipher this weirdness when it's
Yeah, so we'll go with that for now. Right back to what it was before.
How can we use this to stretch the cube downward?
Okay, now the question is,
To approach this problem, some have different pros and cons. This is the one that I wanted to go with, and for me, it worked wonderfully. This is the part of the code that controls the player, and we can ignore.
So this is the amalgamation of this thing moving upwards. Do I bother? Well, I'm still undecided if this is kind of, you know, what I want to go with, or if I'll end up being completely different whatever I actually go with. But let's say this is kind of what I end up going with. Do I want to fix the lighting and actually... So, like, what would that look like? I'll do this in play mode so I can mess around with it and not... Like, I can easily undo it. Oh, right, you're not going to work because you're... Never mind. Okay, we'll go out of play mode. Wait, what? That's not even... B global off of pivot. If I did rotate all this over, and I am selected on the light, so in theory the lighting should look the same. Wait, well, not when I hold on, including the camera. Okay. Are you... No, you're still off slightly, I think. Wait, well, no, you're like 80, so that makes sense. Do I even bother? Like, there's no point in me... Like, right now, if it's working this way, there's no point in me spending that time flipping it over or whatever. I can allow the camera to be sideways and be like, ta-da, here, this works, whatever. The next video, like, it might be a different environment. I move the camera around and, like, whatever. Yeah, I have no reason to internally fix it. It's not something that really needs fixing.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that was a thing that could be done. Neat. So now,
okay. It's interesting. It's interesting. I do think I like it more than it just being rising grid. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah. I don't think that the next one would have this environment. I don't know. It's definitely something I'll play around with. I think I would like the idea more of the next one being an actual, like, I make an environment and then the camera is doing something with that. Either, like, it could be pivoting around it, it could be, or even just like a flying forward through a bunch of lasers. I want to do, yeah, more with the actual environment. Like right now, because the environment does so little, I think that's why I'm more inclined to be like, oh, have the camera be rotating and like moving, so there's more happening in the background. In a later one of these, in theory, maybe I could try the camera not moving or moving very little, and it's the environment itself having spinning lasers and all that. The next one is lasers, so ideally I'm doing more with lasers bouncing all over the place. And, you know, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Okay. Still, though, it did some interesting things. The lighting is still affecting these. I don't have... Let me go check the materials. This is the video player material thing. Let me just... I don't know if I can do this in play mode, expect it to work. If I change you to a... Not you. If I change you to a lit material, I'm just curious. Another thing I can mess around with. I want to be careful because I want the video clips themselves to be, to some degree, they're like truest colors. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, whoa, it's tinted red now. If I want to go all matrixy or whatever, but okay, this is kind of cool. It's sort of like night mode thing, yeah. But still, not what I actually want. But I can, like, to some degree, play around with, again, they're kind of playing, this is a monitor, this is like a screen that these clips are playing off of. It seems like the main thing I'm getting out of it is just that it's getting darker. I want to get to get back to a clip of me saying words. Having the video player be emitting to some degree, that also, I don't know, because monitors emit light. This doesn't look as good. And that does not look as good. It's like all I'm doing is either darkening it or doing stuff like that that's making it look worse.
We could just take the position that we know is going to go up the relative amount that
Okay,
we
so
want
all
it
that
to.
being on 0,
In
it's
current
still
values,
the clip itself that's getting slightly more lighting.
run in late update instead, we'll find this time it actually does something. And just like that, the animation
Pure
is
thing
quick. With just knowing the right
versus...
technique, just a little bit of code can be so powerful.
Let's simple it.
We can then take this a step further and make the same animation work for the left and right directions with some more
No.
trickery. In the case of left and right,
Yeah, it feels like all I'm doing is just making it darker.
So rather than just
Which,
ignoring
like...
the value, we can swap those two
Nah,
values.
I think I'd rather it...
Up
Whoa, whoa,
for
whoa,
the
no,
swatch
no,
of
no,
the
no.
expression. We'll then also want to swap
Back
the X
to
and Z parts of the scale
here.
too. That'll now move
Yeah, I think
the
I'm gonna
Adding on
leave
to
it
that,
like this, at least for now.
it's
Just
a
be
matter of
the
the
colors.
version.
Like, this is, in a way, like a light source of, it's a monitor, it's whatever. So, it, I don't know. Shouldn't be getting darkened that much, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so, tried that. There's also still the idea of, like, oh, what if there's, like, a bit of a layer of static because old-timey monitor or something. Which, that also might be too disruptive. I was thinking if maybe doing that on specifically the, like, live-action clips, which then having it distinct between that, I don't know if that should be done in Unity or maybe that would be better just doing in Premiere or something. But I don't know if that would be something I don't want to do. I don't know. I do have the idea that between this video and the next one, I might try getting a green screen and then doing, like, having a different environment. Biggest problem is my ceiling, is that, like, if I was against just, like, wall, it's either just like, oh, background cover wall. But here, you can see my ceiling, and, like, can't as easily obstruct that with a green screen, unless I just changed, like, my, you know, camera setup. The camera was angled down more or whatever, or something like that. I don't know. I could mess around with ideas. Yeah. And currently my camera's just a webcam hooked onto a monitor. If I got, like, a more actual camera-y camera, like, I have a tripod over there, but it's not tall enough. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait, I just went on play mode. Was there any settings that I made that I wanted to test? I didn't see... I wanted to see, from all that moving, how high did the position get. But I guess it was probably fine. Because I don't think I saw it, like, the actual skybox of the other side here. Okay, so that's that. It is 11:41. I do want to stop before midnight, so I'll probably stop soon-ish. Yeah. So we did some things, mainly just this, yeah, messing around that with. I mainly wanted to do the coding of, like, hey, we put in very, very quick, simplistic coding for, yeah, camera kind of moving up and down, and, like, the this, like, motion stuff, which, yeah, it works, I suppose, and still might go through more revisions, but yeah, it functions for now. Let me turn back up. Yeah, I don't, like, in terms of what next I do with it, because it is kind of getting to a point, like, a lot of what I'm doing now is this kind of just extra visual flair, like, the core, what the video needs to be, is done if I want it to be. I can look at this in its current state, still find a couple more. I don't know with the actual monitor itself. I still need to figure out if that's what I want to go with or not. I don't know if, like, ideally the cool far-off solution would be that it's this very fancy, like, sci-fi looking thing with all these extra little things coming off it and whatnot. But that's definitely not all that's definitely not happening for this one. But I don't know, yeah, how complicated I want to get with the actual border of the monitor. There's also, like, it was just, like, cutting this down and having it just be super simple or whatever, but, yeah, I don't know. And then the actual, like, arm itself, like, it just has two little things coming off it, like, I don't know. So maybe between now and the next year, maybe I'll do more messing around with that. I don't know. Unsure. A lot of where I'm going from now till the end of this thing is just, yeah, messing around with more ideas, just trying to feel like, how can I take this and make it better? And then, like, how much of making it better do I save, like, for now, be like, okay, it's good enough in its current form.
something specific I made.
and save extra stuff for like the next one. I don't know. It still needs background music. The thing with background music though is I wanted to wait till at least the sort of length of the video is more final, which it kind of is. At this point, if I'm making changes, like I'm not going to be swapping out clips. I'm not going to be maybe change the direction that one comes in. But at this point, I don't even know if I'll do that. Maybe I trim a slight bit off of one clip or or the end of another clip or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I did say before that I'm tempted to mess around with the idea of making music in FL Studio as background music for this, just my own trying to practice making music. But making a whole 5-minute thing, I don't know if I'm capable of that. Maybe biting off more than I can chew. Especially because this video is, in theory, longer than... in theory, the next one will be shorter. Ideally, what I want to do with these was make them shorter, but then have more visual cool stuff going on with them. So, yeah, in terms of more like improvements, I don't know how much more I'm going to do with this one or save it for the next one to get more feedback or whatever. But I still want this one to be in a decent state. And it's, turning out pretty good. Like, I'm overall happy with how this has turned out. Especially, like, first I wasn't sure about, like, oh, the moving up down. Like, I don't know. The back and forth, I don't know, on all the angles, somehow, I don't know, something with this is just extra cool. And we didn't go as far as actually make it different on each monitor, but like if it's not super necessary, then don't quite need it. I don't know if I'll, yeah, maybe, I don't know if we'll code extra things for like the clip that is the intro and the clip that is the outro, having them have less movement or none at all. We'll see. But because I don't want to be spending the next bajillion years working on this video, I have other things that I want to get to, so as much as I want to eventually do all this extra crazy funky stuff with this one, there's a point where I gotta, move on to other things and save some of that stuff for the next video so that I can move on to the next things that I want to be working on, i.e. Handmade with Unicycle, which I guess tomorrow's stream might be stuff with that. But I'm still playing with that. If I do stream that tomorrow, I don't know how that's gonna go, because the next thing that I want to be doing with that is next thing I want to be doing with that is I'm torn between two things. It's either one, like as I said in the last stream where I was working on that, there's like, what was that, the Wednesday stream, something like that. Either taking the player as they are now and starting to work on that test level that we had planned, and figuring out what all that's going to entail, or I know that I want to make some changes to the player, make them like I want to make do more to make the player more just better. But that's way easier said than done. That's gonna be a huge undertaking that, like, I still gotta, I think, do more planning with what I want to do, like how I'm going to accomplish the changes that I want to make with the player. Less humming and hawing in the middle of next stream as we attempt to figure out all the physics and math and logic. So yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go, cause if I start to make the level now, and then I change the movement and all that with the player, then that might really, yeah, cause problems with then having to potentially remake the whole level to some degree. So like ideally, if I knew exactly what I wanted out of like all the player movements, if I knew exactly how I was gonna do it, that is what I do first. But the problem with that is figuring out how I'm gonna do whatever changes that I want to do with the player. I know, like, what I could maybe do to start is set up some tests, like have a more like a new like test environment made purely for moving, and be like, I want the player to be able to like go down this slope, and then they should gain enough speed to cross a gap this far across roughly. I did say I want, like, if the player is going fast enough, they can go like up a wall and then like go up and kind of over and then land. So I could set up a thing where, like, yeah, set up something like with this ramp, like it should give you roughly this high, even though it could change as I actually make the physics or whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect or whatever, but just to have some rough guidelines to kind of go off of. And then, as we said, I don't think this would show up that much in the game, but I just want the physics to be able to handle it, because if we can handle this, then it can handle anything, in theory, kind of. I didn't check the position again, whatever, it's fine. A loop-to-loop. I want if you have enough speed, loop, and have a loop to work, kind of thing. And then also going uphill, I want to cheat on the, I want to cheat the movement and say, like, going downhill, you gain speed, and you gain a lot of speed quite quickly. But uphill, a lot of games when you have that kind of momentum, when you go uphill, you slow down, like, a lot. I want to cheat and say, like, you still go pretty decently fast going uphill, so going uphill isn't so much of a slog. But then I want to be careful with that, and, like, you shouldn't be able to just climb any wall. If you have 90-degree wall, but oh no, it's 89 degrees, you shouldn't be able to, like, go up that. So I need to make sure that the physics is good. And, like, if you're not meant to go up this steep surface that's meant to be essentially be a wall, then don't. unless, like, there's the whole, like, you go down a steep clip and then go up, and, like, you go down a steep thing, gain a lot of speed, and then go up. The whole aerial physics will probably need a lot more done to it to then work with this. The idea that, like, so, like, how you handle, if you're, you know, going down thing, you are doing kind of mid loop-to-loop kind of thing, and then mid loop-to-loop, you fall, like, that you're not on train anymore, you're mid-air, you know, handling that so that the player doesn't, like, freak out, because the current player physics do not like being not upright and in mid-air. Although it makes sense that if we're in mid-air, we want to spin around and get upright as soon as possible, because we don't necessarily know how close, like, how soon are we going to hit the ground, and we should be upright when we hit the ground. Because if we're upside down, we're mid, like, loop-to-loop kind of thing, then we reach mid-air, we're upside down, and then almost a few frames after, just with the way the environment is, we touch ground. We gotta be able to, you know, handle that. And in theory, we'd cheat and, like, flip over. It's like, some games that would, like, do that kind of movement, you cheat with how you can quickly rotate the player around and whatnot. We're trying to do a lot of physics-y based things, which makes it hard, especially with the whole leaning physics. The whole, like, that a lot of the movement is based on leaning, and that leaning doesn't work so good in midair. Like, but of course, you know, realistically, like, a real thing, like, you don't move in midair, which, I mean, if we really wanted to, that could be a thing that we do. We like, maybe that would be, I probably wouldn't be good, but it could be, maybe it could be interesting to be, like, actually have the physics, like, you go down ramp, you launch off ramp, you are going this way. And then the whole leaning in there thing wouldn't be that much of an issue. But no, probably, like, usually being able to move in midair is a good thing for games to allow you to do. I would like that if, like, potentially could be a thing that shows up in the game, having sometimes where if you're doing a long fall, it actually becomes more like a skydiving-y kind of thing, and, like, the movement more changes to, like, work with that. Maybe the camera goes more, like, facing down or whatever. I do want to then also, like, it's a whole separate thing to handle, is, like, yeah, if you're falling for a long time, have that work good. It'd be cool that, like, the player, like, the player character, once we have, like, the proper human on there that's all animated, actually goes into more of a skydiving pose kind of a thing, or something along those lines. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, that's all stuff that we'll be figuring out potentially for tomorrow. Yeah, and, like, yeah, hopefully, like, yeah. Also, I noticed as soon as I started going deep into rambling with the hand with the unicycle, my viewership went up. Yeah. I know that's probably more interesting overall than these streams working on just random video stuff, just for specifically, like, hey, we're making a video. That, like, is only mattering just, like, with the context of, like, what other video is. But some of these tools we're making will potentially be involved with more other cool things. But yeah, then after this is done, then I'm probably going to be going full into just, well, into at least some of the stuff with Handyman with the unicycle for a bit. But then eventually then going back to making more of these tutorials, and then hopefully they won't take as long, in theory, making a couple of them, and then transitioning into some of the animated short stuff that I want to do. Yeah, as I got, like, a large roadmap of stuff that I want to be doing, kind of figuring out, kind of some of the order that we were doing things is kind of shuffling around, because I sort of, working on the Handyman with the unicycle, it's more, a lot more down the line, I've kind of pulled it more to the front, but yeah, it's something we wanted to get back to. I can be doing more of like the programming stuff with it now. It's mostly for more of the visual stuff that I eventually want to be in it. That's more why I want to do some of like the stuff with these videos and the mainly sort of little animated shorts that I want to make to have more practice and do more with actually making better visual stuff, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, I can ramble all day about that. I already have over the course of many streams as I repeat myself. So I think we are going to be stopping now. And yeah, we'll be picking this back up tomorrow where I will be doing Hey with Unicycle stuff. And yeah, you know what, we'll try to. I'll throw myself into the deep end of back into like the movement stuff with that character. And maybe I'll back things up preemptively just so I have, as we change stuff, and we will be having to essentially break the player down and build them back up to being working again, which is like concerning, but you know, hopefully it goes well. But I'll keep some backup of like how the player code was before so we can reference that kind of before and after. Hopefully the after does work better than the before. But the main thing I want is I want momentum to matter more. I want you to be able to go down a steep surface and gain a lot of speed quickly to then be able to like launch off across a gap or something. I want that to be like, I want to use more of that. You're on a thing with wheels or a singular wheel. Use use gravity to your advantage. And then also as I said, the kind of going up walls and all that sort of stuff to then also kind of work. Use more of that physicsy cool movement. And then it's like that, and then how you transition to them being in the air is like a whole kerfuffle that, yeah, hopefully we will sort out. There's a whole bunch of little issues that we will slowly sort out and figure out kind of the best ways that we're gonna go about. Yeah, way easier said than done, because like the physics of all of that is going to be stupid complicated, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but we're gonna find that out. I guess we're gonna find that out starting tomorrow, hopefully. And then in the meantime, I guess I'll be continuing some stuff with this video on my own for now. I need to at least give this like I'm gonna step away from this for a bit and then come back to it and see like, okay, does this like by looking away from thing I've made for a bit and then come back to it, it can be easier to then assess like, okay, does this actually look good or does it look worse than before or whatever? And you know, figure out the last couple steps that I need to do with this and how I'm gonna figure out the background music stuff, what I'm gonna do with that, but we will see. So anyways, I think that no, hold on, before I had to do my outro. Can't do my outro too soon. Yeah, push that away. And we're gonna cut off you. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, I guess I'll wrap things up for today. Next time, doing more Hangman with Unicycle stuff that'll hopefully be very cool and will hopefully go well. Anyways, though, like that'll do it for this live stream. If you liked it, look forward to more. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around. Every time I still gotta go click the buttons. Whoops. Okay. All right. Bye.